In this demonstration, I'm going to talk a little bit about the runtime window or panel. So let's select monitoring start. This is the runtime panel. So we'll just start off with the Diagnostics button. This is used to monitor the port's communication activity. So select Diagnostics and then select the port you want to monitor. We only have the one port. It's an Automation Direct port, so we select it. And this is the port monitor, and this is the number of reads that are being issued to the device, and this is the number of reads that are being completed. If we've done any writes, they would be indicated here if it completed. Watchdog timeouts is the number of times that communication has failed and restarted. This could be 1, 2, 3, 0. This could be true or false. If it's true, it's currently in a watchdog timeout. Otherwise, it's false. So this could show 1 and be false, meaning that it did time out, but it's reconnected to the device and communications is active. You can clear the counters and this value with the clear button. Tables is the data tables for the reads. So for in this case, it's a Automation Direct Logix 05, and this is the actual values that we're reading from the PLC, and this is the time it was last updated. There are a number of table reads. Depending on the port, there can be 1, 32, or 64, or 5. This is just the index into it, so you can see which ones are active and update and what their values are. And this is the second read we set up earlier. It's a counter. You can exit from here, close. Monitors used to monitor tags. So this is the analog counter. So I'll double click on it. These are all the different properties that the analog tag has. This is the current process variable analog. We didn't set up any alarms, so none of them are true. None of their values are true. Percent full scale for the alarms is 0. We didn't set any of this up. This is all the default conditions. These last ones are used for different ports. They're generic ones, so they're binary 0 to 15 because they mean different things for different ports. For Automation Direct, they don't apply. The event log is used to log watchdog timeouts. It's used to log when runtime was started, who logged in, disk errors, all kinds of information is logged in this log. For example, if you have a graphic tag and the point that it's configured to monitor in animation is missing or bad, it'll log here at runtime. If a read is misconfigured, if a client can't be connected, hundreds of things can be logged inside of this log, which is different from alarms. These are events. Alarms have to do with points and their state. Configure takes you to the configure program, just like this. And this is so you can make changes to graphics while you're in runtime. In runtime, if you have a window open and you want to make changes to it, go into configure, make the changes to your window, save it, come back into runtime, close the window and reopen it, and you'll see your changes. Alarm enables, if you have alarms, some may want to be disabled. You may want some to be disabled because a piece of machinery is offline. This allows you to do that. This is for the analog points, this is for the digital points. We don't have any alarms enabled, so there's nothing to see here, but that's what it's for. Alarm log, this is where points that go into alarm, contact opens or closes, an analog value goes high or low. It'll show the time, its value, the condition, for example, high, high, low, 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 and the value that it was when it went into the alarm state. Alarms is the currently active alarms. The previous one was the log of when these things occurred. This one is which ones are currently in alarm, meaning that the contact, for example, closed and has not gone back open, or the analog value went high and has not returned below the value. This is used for different groups. Alarms can have groups. We didn't set any up. So you could have alarm group 1 is turbine 1, alarm group 2 is turbine 2. And this is a way to isolate which ones. You can say, I only want to see alarm group 1, or I want to see all alarm groups. These are just the normal buttons for acknowledging the alarm, silencing it if you have a sound that's playing, or silence acknowledge, which does both with one button. Silence does the same as the one before it. It silences any sound that's playing. Silence acknowledge silences the alarm and acknowledges it. Acknowledges as what we talked about earlier, just acknowledges the alarm state. Scripts. We don't have any scripts configured yet. We'll do some in later demonstrations. But this shows you the script name and then the count, the number of times it's executed. And scripts you can edit at runtime. And you can select to execute a script by the execute button. Scripts are compiled when the program starts runtime monitoring. So if you edit a script and you then want it to take effect, you have to select reload, and it reloads all of these scripts, it recompiles them. Point scripts are scripts that are in host tag names, and they're used for conversions. For example, one of the examples in the help file is a tank level that is reported in inches and the result is in gallons. So one tag reads the inches of the tank level, and another host tag takes that value, computes the gallons in the tank, and uses that as a result. Point scripts cannot be reloaded. The program must be restarted to get them to take effect. They can be edited at runtime. And one of the reasons to edit them at runtime is because you can use the debugger to see what is going on inside the script. You can step through it, you can look at the variables, that kind of stuff. Timers. These are some timers that you can use for executing scripts. You can start a timer from a script, stop a timer from a script. You can set it as a free running timer, and it just runs, and every time it's complete it executes a script. That's what this auto restart is. Globals are a way to store information between runs. Let's say you had a counter and you were counting the number of times a box went past a certain position. You could save it into a name global, and when runtime monitoring is begun again, that value will be repopulated. It can also be used to pass data between scripts. Script A can save some result in a global variable, and script B at some later date could then access that value. Or script A could run, save its value, and then later on run again and get the value and use it inside of the script. Open windows used to open graphic windows. Log on is used to log on, log off is used to log off. And quit is of course used to quit runtime.